Okay, so it's time to introduce you to the shinies I've had since 2006 that I've never really shown outside of on Cerebi, which, yeah. Anyway, so here we go. First, it's the first shiny I ever caught. My shiny Whismur. Yeah, this was my Ruby version. Also, I have a little bit of explaining to do here. You see the OT name? Back in 2006, I had this great idea in my Ruby and Sapphire that I was gonna make my trainer, well, when I got in 2006, well, actually 2003, whatever. But it was an older save file, like my first save file in those games. But anyway, we'll get into that later. But anyway, yeah, I thought it was a great idea to make my character named after some of my OCs when I was younger, and I regret it so much. Kiara was like my Yu-Gi-Oh! OC, and my Sapphire's trainer name was my like Pokemon OC, and I'm like, this is dumb, and I just started using my name again. So anyway, this is the first shiny I ever caught. I had never run into any shinies aside from the red Gyarados in gold and silver, and I got quite sick of it actually. So I decided to take matters into my own hand without knowing that shiny hunting was a thing. I decided to bike across all of Hoenn until I ran into a shiny. Yeah, it didn't actually take that long, because by the time I got to Rust Turf Tunnel, and I knew exactly what tile I encountered this on. I encountered this shiny Whismur. I saw the green ears and freaked! It was amazing. So yeah, my first shiny ever that wasn't, the red Gyarados was Whismur. So, yeah. Anyway, on to the next one. So, before I switch page, yeah, I got quite confident. And the next my first actual purposeful target, even though I did start, looking for shinies technically with Whismur, first actual focused species target was Rayquaza in Sapphire. I'm like, I learned what soft resetting was, and I'm like, I'm gonna get a shiny Rayquaza, and I'm not calling it shiny Rayquaza. I'm sorry, but I've always called it Rayquaza. It just sounds better to me. Oh, and you also know that for a while, all the legendaries are in Master Balls. Oh yeah, I had the Pokeballs to SR for legendaries back then, but I didn't have the Pokeballs to try to actually battle them until Kyogre. But anyway, we'll get to Kyogre later. Yeah, OT Kaylin. I regret that. And I plan on fixing this Rayquaza, look at its nature, when I can send it to my sword version. Anyway. So, I restarted my Sapphire version. It was the version I restarted all the time to play through Gen 3 again. So I was even at the dentist when I was battling the Elite Four, and I was beating them via sound only. It was pretty weird. But eventually, after, beating the Elite Four, I made my way up to the Sky Pillar. It is Sky Pillar, right? I'm not thinking of Mystery Dungeon, am I? Because Chugga just Let's Played that. Well, he still Let's Playing it, and he just finished the main story. Anyway, and I don't know if I brought a Kyogre, but I brought a Regice and a Walrein, and I was all ready to battle this thing. And eventually, I was SRing for it. I think this thing actually happened within like 3,000 or so SRs, which was pretty good back then, considering, full odds being 1 in 8,192. Well, I was half asleep while SRing one night. I used to sometimes pull all-nighters back when I was young and still in high school, back in my day. Anyway, so yeah, I was like kind of starting to doze off, and at one point I yawned, and got my DS, my old fat DS, kind of covered in spit doing that. So I went to wipe off my screen, and I was still half asleep. Saw a black Rayquaza looking at me. And it took a few seconds for it to register before I fully woke up and was like, oh snap! And me trying to battle it, yeah, it kind of swept my team. Almost. And I kind of felt uncomfortable trying to pull Ice Beam, so I Master Balled it. And thus, Rayquaza was caught. It was amazing and just crazy having a legendary shiny. Aw, man, the feeling of that. And my next shiny that I got took some setting up with my e-reader. You probably can guess what I'm talking about. None of that Street Pass on the 3DS back then. We had to use link cables. I know I say a lot. So I had to borrow a friend's DS to pull it. Well, I said DS. Excuse me. Game Boy Advance, so I could do this because I have a Game Boy Advance SP and the e-reader doesn't work as well with, to transfer this data with only one, GBA. And I received once, around 2003-ish, 2004, sometime around then, the Eon ticket in my Nintendo Power. So you can guess what my next shiny was. Shiny Latias on Southern Island. And I remember she only took like 334 SRs, but man, those were long SRs. Because you had to press A on the thing in the middle, wait for the screen to slowly pan up, hear their cry, and for it to slowly pan down. And I don't remember if they played their cry a second time, but then for the battle to start. It was long. Not as long as Type Null. Or, Sinnoh starters and Diamond and Pearl, but it was still long. And man, when I saw my shiny golden Latias, I was overjoyed. I mean, look at it, it's gorgeous. And I Master Balled it. And I am gonna throw up a picture of my e-reader and my Eon ticket. So yeah, Gen 3 shiny Latias. And following that, I don't remember. Latias is on Southern Island in Sapphire, right? And no, it's the other way around. She's on Southern Island in Ruby. There we go. So, as you can imagine, I got one of the Lati twins. I went for the brother. I almost said the Lati brother. Anyway, same deal, and he took like 411 SRs? But again, they took forever. And it was funny too, about the Eon ticket. I kept getting an error, and I thought there was something wrong, and I even contacted Nintendo, but then I realized it was because my GBA wasn't fully charged, or in its charging cable, and I kind of face-palmed, and got it to work. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. And of course I Master Balled him too. On to the next shiny, which is about a little short time after Emerald came out. Although that was before 2006. I don't know. Started shiny hunting in 2006, so it was probably a lot earlier I got Emerald. But anyway, also the reason I started shiny hunting was because there was nothing to do after the post-game in Ruby and Sapphire. And I pretty much cleared out the battle tower. I was bored. So, give me something to do. Still does. Anyway, my next shiny was while I was EV training a team for Pokemon Coliseum because I was having a bit of trouble with some later things in Colo. So anyway, I introduce you to my Slugma. Yeah. She popped out of the grass on the route with the soot. And I don't remember remember if Slugma is only available in Emerald or not. I don't remember, probably not. I don't know when she contracted Pokerus, but she did. She didn't have it when I caught her. I think she was in my party at the time something else did, or I really don't remember. But yeah. And she actually has decent IVs, surprisingly, for Emerald. So yeah, that was my Slugma. Whew. Went back to Latios. So, then I found myself reading about how people are having some great luck in the Game Corner in Fire Red and Leaf Green, and how fast some of those SRs are because of how many Pokemon you can actually pick up at a time. You know what I mean? So I decided to try and get an Abra. Boom! And she's modest, and also somehow contracted Pokerus. That might have been while I was EV training her. I have weird luck with Pokerus. So, yeah. I think it was only 3 SRs worth of Abra, but that was a lot of Abra. Like, I don't know how many boxes worth of Abra each SR, and I plan on doing that with the Fossils and Galar eventually. Although that's considerably slower. But yeah. So eventually, on Cerebi, the 3rd generation shiny discussion back in the day, someone came up with a great idea of competing with our hunts. You know, racing. This was some early, racing back in the day. I don't know if other communities were doing this, like Poke Beach or Maryland, but this is what my, I guess, small group was doing. We called it the Shiny Triathlon. I mean, there were, like, a few, like, hey, want to race for this target things? Then we decided, hey, why don't we make a big race where there are different things you have to get along the way? So, the first thing was, originally, it was just gonna be Moltres. Like, a lot of people decided they wanted to, hunt Moltres at the same time. And then, after that, it eventually evolved into Shiny Hunting Triathlon, which the next one would have been a Fossil, I think. And then, like, maybe fishing, or it might have been fishing that was second, then the Fossil, I forget, but it was interesting. So, I decided to hop on the wagon of, hey, let's SR for Moltres. I'm like, why not? So I decided to throw my hat into the ring, and the shiny appeared, like, immediately after I got accepted. Which caused this huge debate of whether it actually counted or not, and with the trend with the legendaries, I master balled it. It doesn't have the best ability. But I was okay either way, because I had a shiny Moltres. And the funny thing was, back in the place I used to live growing up, we finished the basement, and that's where the computer was, in the room in the basement. So, while my dad was at work, I decided to, go make dinner and yada yada yada. And, I was gonna SR for, I did an SR, and I got up out of the computer chair and started hanging upstairs, and then I heard its cry in the sparkle. I kind of freaked out. And I was like, what do I do? What do I do? Catch it or eat? Obviously eat first. Because eating prevents your brain from doing stupid things. So, yeah. So it was great. Then I decided I wanted to see if I could get a shiny Zangoose on that route just before Meteor Falls. I forget the number. I keep wanting to say Route 114, but I don't think it's Route 114. So, yeah. I did not find a shiny Zangoose, but instead I found a shiny Swablu, who's now an Altaria, an EV trained. I think I EV trained it for Battle Revolution. I don't fully remember, but yeah. Yeah. So there's not much to say, but it was a shiny Swablu. It was pretty neat. So yeah, that was pretty neat, because, I hadn't really found a random encounter shiny since Slugma. So I went to my Ruby, and yeah. Then, I wanted a shiny Vulpix. As I said, with way back when I got my shiny Vulpix in my white version, I mentioned I had tried going for it in previous games. Yeah, I was talking about this. I didn't find Vulpix, but I did see it come across the screen when it decided to be shiny. My shiny Duskull, who I haven't evolved yet. Or is Ivy's? They're okay. Nothing bottle caps can't fix. And docile being neutral. So yeah. It was pretty neat. That was like the first time I ever saw something scroll across the screen because I wasn't paying attention most of the time, so it was pretty neat. I was like, wait a minute. And there he was. Eventually, we got to the day in 2007, April 22nd, when Diamond and Pearl released in the US. I was waiting for my copy from Pokemon Center, so I had to wait an extra day. It was torture. So, I'm like, you know what's a really cool shiny? Because, you know, we had seen the Pokemon. I don't like seeing the newer Pokemon anymore before the game releases, because with Gens 2 and 3, I didn't know what I was getting into, and I felt it was more fun back then. You know, the wonder of running into new things. So as of, like, Gen 6 and 7 and 8, I just stopped looking at spoilers. And I am refusing to look at those Crown Tundra spoilers. Don't give any spoilers. People are data mining the Isle of Armor DLC and finding stuff about Crown Tundra. I will laugh if Game Freak put like fake info in there just to mess with them. But anyway, you know, it was a nice shiny out of the Pokemon I saw, the Gen 4 Pokemon. Roserade, who, because Roselia is not available in Emerald, and I was better off not hunting an Emerald anyway. We're gonna get to that very shortly. I went for Roselia on the route where the daycare is in my Ruby version. I think. Yes, it has that name. It was my Ruby version. Ugh, I so regret those OTs. Ugh. So, yeah, I just did a bunch of random encounters and eventually found a shiny Roselia on the day of Diamond and Pearl's American release. It's pretty neat. And this Roserade was very helpful in my competitive battles back in Gen 5. Part of my Sun team. Nobody expects Weather Ball Roserade. Nobody. It was pretty funny, some of those battles. Somebody had a Hail team with a Salamence. They got Weather Balled. They were very confused what happened. There were other situations where that happened. It's pretty funny. Anyway, on to the next shiny. So, you know, I got Moltres, so I'm like, you know what, I want to go for another shiny bird. And so I did. I went to the Seafoam Islands. I got Articuno. I do not remember how many encounters or soft resets most of these guys took, so that's why I'm not mentioning anymore. Yeah, I remember that. Sitting in the Seafoam Islands, SRing for Articuno. I even started watching some of the Articuno episodes from the anime, like the Frontier episodes, Numero Uno Articuno, and some of the other older ones from like the Johto Saga. It was great. It was great. I mean, I was getting kind of bored. So I started mimicking its cry, you know, the and, you know, I was timing it pretty well. At the same time as the Articuno, but at one point, I did it just a little bit too early, as it was entering battle. Yeah, the Articuno responded to my with shing. Oh, I flipped. It was kind of hard on my, I think my old DS, but I think I was actually sorry for it on my Game Boy Advance SP. I don't remember. But it was, back then I just thought it was too hard to tell the difference between regular and shiny Articuno. And I mean, look how it looks now. And it also looked gorgeous in PBR. It looks so nice. I love that snowy Articuno. It fits it perfectly. Even if it's one of those, oh, little bit different shinies. This actually works. Because most ice-type shinies I've noticed look like wet snow. Like bear tick. And it's kind of like, what? Like where they'll just end up with like this darker blue shade. So Articuno going from darker blue to lighter snowy color, it's just nice. It's different. Just a little bit. So yeah. Then I decided to try messing around with the Poke Radar. It's something easy, and this brings up some debate, because even I have mixed feelings about them. My first Poke Radar target was Pidgey, because it's a Pidgey. I have mixed feelings. I don't know if you've noticed how I've marked my shinies either. Heart and Star, you know, obviously shiny, and I got myself, although most of my Poke Radar shinies don't have the heart because I feel mixed about them. And the diamond means they were EV trained. Although I can mark them in home also, so yeah. So yeah, I learned how to not break my chains, and etc. and got the Pidgey. So yeah, neat! Not much else to say. I do at least value one Poke Radar shiny, and you'll meet her in a little while. I used her to thoroughly troll people in PBR and my friend. It was pretty funny. She thought she beat me, but anyway, we'll get to that when we get there. And that's not the friend I was talking about. So, I decided to restart. Was it? No, I got Fire Red, because I only had Leaf Green, and started hunting for the starters. Now, it looked weird back in Gen 3, like the colors were duller and darker, but oh, when I saw its Gen 4 sprite, I had to get one. Blastoise. It looked so nice with the brighter colors in the Gen 4 sprites, and I just had to SR for Squirtle. I named it Crush because its sprite looked like it was crushing something. It was either in Gen 3 or Gen 4, I forget. No, it is not named after the turtle from Finding Nemo. Lacks nature. CVs. IVs. Fantastic speed. It's a turtle tortoise thing. So yeah. I don't remember how many SRs, but I do remember I had actually walked away from the game again, I think to let my dog out. And when I came back, I could tell something was off about the screen from a distance, because Fire and Leaf Green had that, like, teal border around the Pokemon when it was shiny, along with the red star. Or was it a yellow star? I think it was a yellow star back then. While the regular Pokemon had, like, a purple border. So, yeah. Lo and behold, there's a shiny Squirtle. So, yeah. Then I went back to my diamond version and decided to chain for another nice shiny. Even though it was in a very small island, but big enough for Poke Radar. Corsola! So, yeah, another Poke Radar shiny. Not much to say about that. I don't remember how many broken chains it took. I think I ended up with 2 of them. I don't remember. Like I said, I have mixed feelings about the Poke Radar shinies. Because I eventually got kind of really good with the Poke Radar, and then it just kind of felt weird to be using that. I'm not saying nobody should enjoy their Poke Radar shinies, I'm just saying I have mixed feelings. Just like how I don't raid abuse. You know what I mean, I don't manipulate the raid dens. Because that's just not fun for me. I'm a very strange person. Anyway, so I decided that I was going to do something that not a lot of people had done back then. I mean, I was happy with 2 of my birds. But I decided I was going to go for the whole trio. And went for Zapdos. And yes, I know you can barely tell that it's shiny, but I assure you it's shiny. And it has a terrible nature. I got the birds in my Leaf Green, by the way. So yeah, I made it to the power plant, went around, yada yada yada. And saved him from Zapdos and was SRing. I don't remember how many SRs it took. I really don't. But I do remember, weirdly enough, one night I had a dream that I got my shiny Zapdos. And the funny thing about that was, that Friday that came up after that dream, I encountered the shiny Zapdos the exact way, and I saw it come across the screen, and somehow I knew it was shiny and was freaking out, where are the sparkles? And then they happened. It was weird. It was a weird experience. And I masterballed it. And if I recall correctly, not only does it have a pretty bad nature for Zapdos, it has bad IVs. I will fix it. When the Crown Tundra comes out, I will fix it. So, whoop, I didn't mean to go backwards. This is gonna take some editing. So, this whole time, and I'll be honest, after Latios, I hadn't actually stopped SRing in Ruby and Sapphire or Emerald. Oh man, you guys are gonna be like, that was dumb, you should have known this. Back then, we didn't know this was a problem, but I was going for Groudon in Emerald after I got my Latios. Yeah, pretty much a whole year had gone by. And then, the thing is, we didn't know that Emerald's RNG was bugged. Well, it's hard to explain. But yeah, it's a very slow RNG, and it always starts at the same place. And it goes through 60 frames a second, if I recall, which is really slow. So this is why it's very easy to get, like, duplicate frames in Emerald, and, well, a lot of people were doing research on this because it made shiny hunting a pain. I remember one of my friends on Cerebi got 14 shiny Zigzagoon, uncatchable Zigzagoon, while SRing for a starter. Lucky for them, it was the same Zigzagoon. But because of this freakish phenomenon, somebody got like 7 also, like 6 or 7 while SRing for their start, and we were trying to figure out what the heck is going on, and why hadn't, like, we gotten Groudon or other things. Well, eventually somebody discovered what was wrong with the RNG, and that it was impossible to SR for shinies unless you had an early shiny frame. So yeah, I was SRing for a Groudon for a year without any results. That was wasted time. And no, I didn't get it. So I went and transferred all my Pokemon out of Ruby version into Pokemon Coliseum. And then to Emerald. And restarted my Ruby version. Got rid of that terrible OT. And then I was making my way to go SR for Groudon. Which, on the way there, I ran into a Zigzagoon. It was before the Weather Institute. I was thinking, you know, I can either battle all the trainers, go around the tall grass, have no wild encounters, but have to battle all the trainers. Or I could cut straight through the grass, which is shorter, avoid the trainers, but have to get into random encounters. I picked through going through the grass. The first encounter I ran into, about halfway through the grass, was a regular Linoon. And I ran from it, you know. And I was almost out of the grass. I was literally almost at the Weather Institute on the last tile of grass before I got into a random encounter. And I saw that it was orange scrolling across the screen. I was like, nah. And there it was, a shiny Zigzagoon. I had sent in a level 60 Ninjask and a few other Pokemon to help with Groudon. I didn't have enough badges for it to listen to me. I wanted to use False Swipe. Actually, I think I had a Gardevoir out front, or a Curlia, then switched to Ninjask. Yeah, I had to have, because the Zigzagoon used Sand Attack. Well, when I switched to Ninjask and tried to have it use False Swipe, it disobeyed and went for Slash. But it missed. I immediately sent it back into its ball and sent out something else. I was like, oh heck no, and just threw balls until I caught it. Probably the reason this Linoon is level 89 isn't just from EV training it. I don't remember why. When it has not great IVs. I guess I was just trying to EV train all my shinies at the time. Yeah, part of it being level 89 was hunting Galarian Zigzagoon. I shouldn't say was, I mean, while I hunt Zigzagoon. So yeah. Eventually, though, I did make it to the Cave of Origin. And 5 days after starting SRing in Ruby for Groudon, it finally appeared. Now, the Groudon I legit tried battling, and it didn't go well, so I Master Balled it. It was pretty crazy. This Groudon hunt kind of got legendary with my friends because I should have gotten it, but I didn't. Because of Emerald's dumb RNG. Also had okay IVs. Not great, but okay. We can fix it. And yes, I too EV trained it. For, I think, PBR? I think... No, Dragon Tail didn't exist. I don't remember. I do remember in Pokemon Ranch, though, that this thing was ridiculously overprotective of my character. If I started getting swarmed by people in Pokemon, it would just knock them all away. Also, it didn't matter if it was asleep, awake, if you picked up my Mii and moved it all the way to the other side of Ranch, the Groudon would wake up and follow my Mii. That was insane. Can't wait to transfer this guy into my sword version when the time comes. Ah, silly Groudon. And this is why you didn't ever see me SR for in Heart Gold, or I think it's Heart Gold, or in the rings, or the wormholes, because I already have one. I mean, if I run into a second one, I run into a second one, but I don't feel a need to actually go and hunt it. So, no, I don't remember why I EV trained it. I just remember I started EV training it in my Diamond, and ran into... You've already met her in the Sharpedo video? Leona, who I encountered as a shiny Shinx while EV training Groudon. Timid nature, yeah. And I EV trained her. I don't remember why. Oh, and I also grabbed her superpower from Move Tutors back in Gen 4 or 5 because, yeah, that's the only way for her to have it if I remember. An adorable little golden Shinx appeared. And not with the Poke Radar. It was great. I mean, I wanted a shiny Luxray because I like the color combination of orange and black, so yeah. I mean, I know it's more of a yellow, but still. It's a fantastic shiny. Who doesn't want a shiny Luxray? It's like shiny Drifloon and Drifblim. So yeah. She's very helpful in the Isle of Armor. So I started messing with the Poke Radar again. I don't know why I went for this, but I did. Pichu! Well, I guess because I like shiny Raichu. But, yeah. I don't remember how many Pichu I got. Or if I even have all of them still. But yeah, again, like all Poke Radar shinies, or at least most of them, I have mixed feelings. I got quite a few Poke Radar shinies in a row, like hunt-wise, and the next hunt was... Spoink! Again, same thing, but I like shiny Grumpig, so, and shiny Spoink is kind of a nice shiny too. I mean, look at it. It's cute. But I have mixed feelings. I mean, I know I nicknamed them, but for some reason I don't feel as attached as I do my other shinies. Ooh! Speaking of, well, going back to the shiny races, one of my friends on Cerebi decided to challenge me to a race for shiny Lapras. So, I don't remember. We were SRing actually the Silphco Lapras. And also, here's another thing. I didn't nickname most of my Gen 3 Shinies, or even my Gen 4 Shinies, so yeah. Most of them. I don't remember why, but I didn't, so. Which is why I'm hoping with, you know, how you can nickname a Pokemon from a trade once in the Galar region, like you can't undo it after that. That I can, like, let's say you get a Pokemon from a trade that has no nickname, but you want to nickname it, and the name rater lets you nickname it, but they won't let you change it afterwards. I think that's how it works. I'm hoping to fix some of this. He was very much EV trained and also helped out my Sun team. The only thing stopping Politoed and Kingdra from destroying my Sun team. He also made somebody rage quit, because he beat their Dragonite. Your Dragonite couldn't KO him with Thunder and they rage quit after he knocked him out with Ice Shard. It was pretty funny. I'd considered putting, like, Dragon Pulse or something on him for Kingdra, but he did well without it. So yeah, it was like a week before Christmas, I think, that I got him. But yeah, we were SRing. I don't remember how many SRs, but I won the race. It was pretty neat. And the Lapras was another shiny that I got when I had to get up and leave the room for a minute. And again, like Squirtle, I could tell something was off when I got back. But it wasn't the border. The Lapras did look a bit more purple. Sure enough, Lapras was purple. Now Lapras isn't as nice of a shiny in my opinion in Gen 3, but Gen 4, ooh, that's when the colors look nice. A lot of Gen 4 sprites and Gen 5 sprites look better than the Gen 3 sprites, and in some cases better than the XY models, in my opinion. In my opinion. Now, I don't know how long I was SRing for. It wasn't nearly as long as Groudon. But, oh, and after I got Squirtle, I beat the game and sent it. I didn't evolve it or EV trainer or anything at that time, but I sent it to Emerald. I had restarted and started going for Bulbasaur at that point in Fire Red. That'll become very relevant in a little bit. So, I was SRing for Mudkip and Sapphire. I ran into 3 uncatchable shiny Poochyena before I got my shiny Mudkip. My first shiny Mudkip. We'll get into that in a little bit. And yes, I EV trained him. Make him even better. Again, I say a lot. I mean, the first uncatchable shiny Poochyena was amazing, because, hey, it's a shiny! But also, oh, I can't catch it! One of my friends didn't understand what made it uncatchable until I explained it. It's because you don't have Pokeballs at that point in the game, and it's really mean! The second time, I was annoyed by seeing it again. I felt like it was taunting me, saying, so I heard you like Mudkips. And I was like, no, I don't like Mudkips. I like purple Mudkips. For some reason that made somebody on Cerebi laugh. I don't know why. The third time I dropped a massive swear bomb. Thankfully my dad was not home. But eventually I got my shiny Mudkip. And I was actually down that day, like feeling down. First I wasn't feeling good. And I thought I had lost my bank card. And I was like, you know, feeling depressed and stuff. When I got up, I decided to do some SRs. And got the shiny Mudkip. And then I found my bank card. It was actually with a Mudkip thing, ironically. A different card. So yeah, it turned out to be a great day. I don't remember when I EV trained him, how many SRs it took. I got him in Sapphire. Yes, I restarted Sapphire just to SR for Mudkip after I got my Rayquaza. Obviously transferring it before I did. And look at that ID, 33221. So I decided, hey, I got Groudon in Ruby, and I've restarted Sapphire. I'm gonna go for Kyogre. I think Kyogre happened after like 700 something SRs. Like 749 or something. So, this is funny because I was SRing for Kyogre and a thunderstorm was happening and I was like, you know, I'm gonna have to, and my GBSP was, you know, very close to dying. I think it was my it was my GBASP. So, I was like, so, I don't want to charge while there's a thunderstorm happening because I don't want the chance that, you know, surge protection failing and my game's frying, blah 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 blah. So I was gonna stop for the night. That's why I also didn't have my game in the charger at the time. I was gonna do like a couple more SRs, like 5 more, and go to bed. The Kyogre appeared during that thunderstorm. I had to plug back in my SP so it wouldn't die. This is the shiny I started actually legit, well, successfully legitly battled the legendaries to catch them without a Master Ball. Caught Kyogre in a netball. Yes, and this is before I got all weird about having the shinies match their Pokeballs, which I'm trying to break out of. Which is partially why I did my badge quest. I'll explain that later. But yeah, I have not EV trained him, but if I recall, he has decent IVs, like for a Gen 3 SR shiny. But yeah. And then back at Gen 4, I was messing with the Poke Rare, but it did take quite a few chains to get a shiny Larvitar. But I did get quite a few of them. So again, mixed feelings, despite that he's nicknamed and EV trained. Now, something about my Diamond version, and I was paranoid shiny hunting in Diamond version after Emerald, because I was like, what if the RNGs are still messed up? No. There was confirmation they weren't messed up in Gen 4. Same thing with Platinum and Heart Gold and Soul Silver, I had that paranoia. But anyway. So, a Pokemon that I think legitimately looks better shiny than its original colors is Heatran. Because I feel like shiny Heatran gives off that magma feeling better than, you know, its regular colors. Its regular colors are dull and dark. Shiny Heatran is bright and fiery. So, yeah. Did I EV train her? Yes, I did. But yeah, I went SR'd for shiny Heatran simply because I like her better shiny. There were people who legit, back then, would say that if they got a female shiny Heatran, they'd SR over it because it was female. That's messed up. Like, seriously. Anyway, I don't care that my Heatran's female. I will take it. Yeah, I got lucky. She ended up modest. With decent IVs. I think I EV trained her to deal with my friend's version of Mysterial. She was having a hard time in PBR fighting him. His Uber's team. Stupid Uber's Rain team. Ugh. Anyway, yeah, it was great. I don't remember how many SRs. I do remember when I was playing Mario Galaxy and I was doing the Daredevil run of Melty Molten Galaxy. I was like, where's Heatran when I need it? There it was. Now, if I didn't go looking for the shiny Zigzagoon, the shiny Whismur, kind of, if I didn't start looking for shinies, I'd always wonder what would have been my first shiny of the ones I didn't go looking for, like I just randomly ran into. It could have been the Zigzagoon on the way to Groudon, or it could have been the Silumise in my Diamond. I don't remember what I was doing on Route 228, I think it was. I wasn't paying attention to the screen, and I ended up, I think I was trying to head somewhere to catch something. It might have been for Bank. Actually, I think it was trying to catch something in Pokemon Bank. but I think it was in the desert, or the route just before, Heatran's Mountain, which the name escapes me right now. I almost said Magmar Caverns. No, that's from Metroid. Metroid Prime. One of them. Anyway, we're just gonna stop with that. Anyway, so I was bicycling, wasn't paying attention, and ended up in the grass. I think I was actually watching the pandemic episode of South Park 2. So, it's pretty funny. Looked down and saw the shiny Lumise, and I was like, what? So this could have legit been my first shiny, if I didn't go looking for a shiny. Now, we're going back to, the Poke Radar, but the only shiny I really feel an attachment to from the Poke Radar is my Shuckle. I didn't give her the heart stamp, but she's legitimately the one I love from the Poke Radar. Because she was hell to chain. First I had to put in a Gen 3 game. I think it was actually Emerald. Then I had a Poke Radar. And for some reason Shuckle was a pain to Poke Radar. I don't remember why, but I am so glad I got her. Why did I go for Shuckle? Again, I was transferring things from Gen 3 through the Pal Park for Ranch. I don't remember why I was doing Haley's quests. I guess to add stuff to Ranch, to fill it out. I still don't have the Mew, but I stopped caring about that. I already have a Mew. But anyway. And probably to fill the Nat Dex and Diamond. I do have a perfect Nat Dex and Diamond, it's great. But anyway, but no Shiny Charm, because Shiny Charm didn't exist until Black 2, White 2. So, yeah. I found out that Shuckle's were, because I couldn't find it, and I couldn't figure out where it was in the Pal Park. It's in the water! In the lake! And I'm like, Shuckle's weak to water, what's it doing there? And then, you know, I was thinking about the Shuckle episode, because I just started thinking about Shuckles, and how there was a shiny Shuckle in that episode. And I wanted a shiny Shuckle. I mean, it's not a bad Shuckle. Yes, it's not a bad Shuckle. It's not a bad shiny. And I had fun using her to troll people. Oh, my friend thought she had defeated my Shuckle. Then she used Rest. It took my friend a half hour to get her HP in the red. So I'm like, wanna battle again afterwards? Do not bring that Shuckle! Oh, and online, it was great in PBR. Trolling people with the Shuckle. Somebody actually legit beat me with the Shuckle. Shuckle with Power Trick. I was so happy, because I got beaten by a Shuckle. Not, you know, a Salamence or a Garchomp or anything like that. I was beaten by a Shuckle. They were very creative and very good at predicting what I was doing, and I was just so impressed. It made me happy. I like running into stuff like that. So yeah, IV trained her. Didn't have the best IVs, but they were good enough back then. I plan on fixing her. Also, Shuckle is a very missed opportunity in Gen 6, and yeah, for a Mega Evolution. Honestly, all Game Freak had to do, all they had to do was put all the extra stat points from Mega Evolution into its HP. It would have been perfect. It also would have been banned on Smoggin, but it would have been perfect. That is all I asked for. And Mega Unknown. That had an ability that made Hidden Power super effective against everything. Because there you go. That's all you need. 2 Troll Megas, and that's all you need. So, back in Gen 3, in Kanto, in my Leaf Green, I decided to do some fossil hunting. And got my shiny Kabutops, who I'm pretty sure you saw as a Kabuto in one of my Gen 5 shiny videos? I think. Or it was the Charmander video, or Porygon's is like, don't mind him. I was EV training. Oh no, I think I was EV training or something in that game. I'm like, don't mind him. He's from, you know, an older, yeah, whatever. Yeah, so now you're gonna meet him. Who doesn't have a nickname, and yes, I EV trained him. He worked very well alongside my Shuckle. Yes. He was more offensive. I also used that Tyranitar. Everybody would go for the Tyranitar first, thinking the Tyranitar was the threat. Then they'd find their whole team, you know, poisoned, and oh, it was always great. It was great. I loved it. But yeah, it's a weird kind of 3-man rock type mono team that I didn't mean for it to be a mono team, but yeah. I forget how late it was, but I know it was midnight. I was SRing for Kabuto. And I just kind of looked over and saw the shiny, and I was like, yeah, there's the shiny. I don't remember how many SRs, but I was very happy I got it. Decent Kabutops. I could always change its ability and its IVs later. Probably should have done that back in Gen 7. I didn't. I do regret it. Now, after getting Kyogre, I transferred Kyogre and Mudkip to Emerald via Pokemon Coliseum because I didn't have a second Game Boy Advance, and that was the only way I could do anything. And I kinda wish you could do that in BBR. Yeah, back in Gen 1, 2, and 3, the 3D battling games, Stadium 1, Stadium 2, and Coliseum. I'm not going to get into the fact that Stadium 2 is technically Stadium 3 in Japan. I'm talking about outside of Japan. They had a box system, and that was how you could transfer Pokemon between your games, like from Gold to Silver, or Crystal, or Gen 1 to Gen 2, and yada yada yada. But you obviously couldn't transfer from Gen 2 to Gen 3 under any circumstance, but that's how I would transfer things across my Gen 3 games. That's still the only way I can do that. So, yeah. Which means you have to beat the main story and for Coliseum. So yeah, I transferred everything to Emerald via Colo. Off of Sapphire and Restart and started SRing again. For Torchic. Yes. She is ridiculously lucky for a Gen 3 soft reset shiny. And I encountered the shiny and catchable Puchiano once SRing for her. I had actually gotten her when I had come home from driver's ed. But the thing that stands out about her, now not so much now as of Gen 6 and onwards when breeding mechanics to get like flawless IVs is ridiculously easy. She doesn't have flawless IVs. But you will notice she is adamant, and female, and shiny. Now her IVs are also still high. Like, I won the lottery with her. It was crazy. I was freaking out. Everybody was freaking out. I took so many pictures of my Game Boy Advance and everything to prove she was legit back then. It was insane. All of her IVs are actually above 20, except for speed, I think. Which is crazy for Gen 3 back in the day. Like, most of them are like 28, 27, 25. And flawless special attack, but whatever. Like, she was like a lottery win. Now, the reason, like, it's hard for me to explain this, but Shiny Blaziken, I think in Coliseum, might have actually been PBR. It actually looked darker than this, like a much darker red, and looked amazing. But, you know, it lightened up and looked more like regular Blaziken. But here it looks nicer. Not quite as dark as it was in those games, but ooh, it was a nice shiny. So yeah. Then, when Junichi Masuda tweeted, hey, did you know that if you breed, well, put a Pokemon in the daycare, 2 Pokemon in the daycare that are foreign from each other in the daycare, you have a chance of encountering a rare colored Pokemon. Yeah, he legit posted that. And we're all like, what? In Gen 4. Confused, like nobody knew this was in the game. Until we realized that he meant that you had a higher chance of getting a shiny if you bred two differently, languaged Pokemon together. Because Gen 4 is the first time that you could have Pokemon from other languages in your game with the advent of the GTS. This is how it ended up dubbed as Masuda method. Yes, I'm giving you some shiny history while I do this. So, I wanted to shiny Mothim. You all know this. You all know. I went for Burmy. I got a female Burmy. I was sad. And I knew I was gonna have a hard time telling if it was shiny or not. But okay, yeah. It was pretty neat having a higher chance of getting a shiny via eggs. Especially with the flame body and magma armor having those out of battle effects that they got in Emerald, it made things a lot better. But yeah, she had decent IVs and a good nature for her to become Rock Wormadam. Or Wormadam. So, yeah. First Masuda method shiny. Now, I'm not done because I still have a few more shinies to talk about. You'll recognize a lot of these faces because that's when I started recording on YouTube, that shaman. We'll explain that in a little bit. So remember how I said I was hunting that Bulbasaur? Since Squirtle? Yeah, I had been hunting it for on and off for like 2 years on Fire Red. It was ridiculous. And a habit I have when SRing for like starters is I like to change my ID number. Like, restart the game, get a new ID number and SR for a while. Yeah, well, eventually my Fire Red threw me that ID number. 8,192. And yes, the Mudkip is the point that I stopped having the OT Kalen. Ugh. But yeah, 8,192. And then I had to get a shiny because I was like, there is no way I'm missing this opportunity to get a shiny with that ID number. And boy, did it take a while. I don't remember how many SRs, but it was a pain. No, it doesn't have its hidden ability, but I still try to give it its hidden ability moveset. Anyway. Oh, when I got that Bulbasaur finally. Oh, it felt good. I was so happy. Done and done. And I made sure that Blue wouldn't get in my way of getting that thing over to Emerald. So Emerald had become my real core game, while Ruby was my original main game of Gen 3, but then I end up Emerald because of the Battle Frontier and the extra features that happens. So yeah. And then we went back to the Pokeraider in Gen 4. I wanted a shiny Weasel. I mixed because it really wasn't that hard to chain. Often I'd get 2 or 3 shinies from a single Pokeraider chain, and this was about when I started to get really good at it, so I had mixed feelings about it. So anyway, my next Masuda method shiny was my Turtwig, who I have not evolved. I think it's because its IVs were crap. Yeah, it's because its IVs were really bad. But, yep, I SR'd for this, yes, SR'd. Hatched for this Turtwig. I was so happy when I got it. Now I could evolve it. If I wanted to. I don't know, I might go for a second one. But, yeah, I like my shiny Turtwig so much. Oh. You know what was ridiculously hilarious though about the Turtwigs that weren't shiny? I put them all in Pokemon Ranch. You just had this massive group of shiny Turtwig all going ha 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 in Ranch, and you can't not smile when you see it. It's funny. Anyway, what time is it? Wow, it's almost 2 o'clock. Ooh, well, good thing this is about to end. Well, kind of. I still have more shinies to show that you don't know about. That I also have mixed feelings about. But yeah. Now, this next shiny, technically, I uploaded to YouTube, but with no explanation. Well, with the advent of Platinum, the first live shiny, I think, that ever was uploaded, I think, was an Origin Form Giratina. It was pretty neat. And I think other people started trying to get live shinies and also uploading just videos of them trying to catch the shinies that they were encountering. And I had a little camcorder that my dad got me for my birthday one year. And I was like, yes, the camcorder, I still use that. I cannot find the cord for. I still have to find. But I decided that would be neat. So I ended, you know, they distributed the event items for Shaman and Darkrai and Platinum, and I decided I wanted to SR for Shaman. I was nervous about SRing for Darkrai because I did not, and still kind of don't have the patience for being stuck in an area SRing for something. Like not being able to leave or anything when I want to go do other things. Yeah. And then come back to it later, that's what I prefer doing. So, yeah, I went for Shaman first, and yes, I totally got it. Unfortunately, the video is very poor quality, and I had to speed things up because it took a little while to catch. And yes, I named them AstroTurf. All of the Gen 4 shinies I hadn't transferred, I nicknamed before transferring. So, yeah. Because I decided, hey, I want to nickname them. Now, one thing I want to mention, part of the reason I did my badge quest, because I was talking about the Poke Radar chain and how I was starting to get obsessed with Pokeballs matching with the shiny, which is why the Suicune, who I named Mistral eventually, ended up in a Dive Ball, and why I was upset I had a Master Ball Ditto. And amazingly, neither of these Wurmples from Emerald are shiny clones of the Slugma. But the reason, you guys remember all these? Yeah. I nicknamed every single one that was, well, except the Wurmples. I forgot about them. And the Cyndaquil. I forgot to nickname these guys. But almost every single one received a nickname for, after I got them on YouTube. Well, I say on YouTube, but yeah. Although I don't know if the second Mudkip was uploaded to YouTube. Basically, I hatched it from an egg unintentionally when I was trying to get a good IV'd competitive one, so, but yeah, everybody else. But the reason I did my badge quest was because I was starting to get into some pretty bad, obsessive habits. So, yeah, and in my Y version, it felt a little too easy getting shinies, which I find hilarious because I got my shiny Ampharos. These should be in order, but I was getting really obsessed with the Pokeball matching, and they had to have flawless IVs. That's why I didn't want to get them in random encounters. It was getting pretty bad. And with how easy it felt that I was getting shinies in my Y version, I just kind of rage quit hunting in Gen 6 for a while and started my badge quest. And I forced myself to have to use my shinies because I also had an obsession with leaving my shinies untouched. Like, they had to never be trained. Like, don't mess with them. They have to be untouched. Like, it was ridiculous and stupid, and I broke that with my badge quest. I had to fight against those kind of OCD compulsions. I had to get myself out of that mindset. So, yeah. Just should recognize everybody. They're all here. Not everybody has been evolved, or EV trained, or even nicknamed. I forgot to nickname one other shiny and I'm upset. In case you're wondering why my Poochie and I had nicknamed Oddball, if I didn't explain it, it's my friend has a shiny Mightyena. They also are working on a story, and the main character, who is, I believe, a wolf pup, is actually named Oddball. And I'm not going to go into any further details, but yeah. That's why it has that name. Ah! The most disappointing thing about Gengar not having a Mega is we'll never get to see Shiny Mega Gengar ever again. That is the worst nickname I possibly could have given it. But yeah, everybody should look familiar. And yes, I brought my Galar Shinies in here to complete the... well, the thing. They aren't nicknamed most of my Galar Shinies, I'm working on that. And I'm looking forward to when I can fix a lot of my Shinies. I named it Crocus, as in Croc and Ruckus. It is a bad name Game Freak would give to a dark-type alligator. You all know it. A lot of times, yeah, Severin Regis, Ponyta, Toxel, and now the Magikarp, I might give away 3 of them, are not nicknamed, because I haven't thought of any good nicknames. Ah! Here's another awkward thing. Okay. I count them as part of my collection, because I technically did go for them in Pokemon Go. The reason I count them and none of my other Pokemon Go shinies, which I will make a separate video about eventually when I can kind of record my phone, hopefully before August when I can no longer play Pokemon Go because they're only going to update for 64-bit systems and we're going to lock out 32-bit systems from the game. Yeah. Because the only way to get a shiny Meltan and Melmetal legitimately are from Pokemon Go, so I do count them as part of my shiny collection. At least until I can actually truly hunt them in a game. So yeah. I haven't put all of my event shinies though yet in home, like Tapu Koko's here, but other ones that I have are not here. And the Zeraora will end up in here. I'm gonna have to put well, rename this box and stuff. So, yeah. I've introduced you to a lot of shinies that you have not met yet. That are from when I started shiny hunting. But there is more. I have not messed with anything, so I'm exiting without saving changes. But there is another game that we need to access. I didn't put them in here because I'm afraid I won't be able to send them back. Let's go Eevee. I have a few shinies in here that I'm not sure if I count or not. Like, personally, I don't feel that I count them, but they exist. Where did I put them? Oh no, it did wait, where did you put them? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, there they are. I panicked. I thought they got deleted. Okay, so Let's Go Eevee. I got a bunch of shinies that I went for in Let's Go Eevee because I was like, well, these are most likely not full odds, and, you know, this is technically not, you know, a core game. It's more of a midway game for Pokemon Go and the core series, and I don't count them because they're not part of my core games, and I still kind of feel that way. I'm still not sure how I feel. But yeah, I went for Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle. I got a Pidgey when I wasn't trying to get a Pidgey. I got another Pidgey. This was actually part of my in-game team. Yeah, I do not want to transfer that monster out of Look at that. It's ridiculous. But yeah, got a Spearow when I was going for, I think, Charmander. It might have actually been Squirtle. No, I got the Psyduck while going for Squirtle. But yeah, what I was trying to do is get at least the base form for everything shiny and go battle the elite trainers of every species. I was gonna try to do a living dex. It was weird what I was planning on doing, but I just said nah. Got that Bellsprout. Got this Graveler, and funny thing is, this Rhyhorn, I think I was going for Squirtle at the time, but I was also swinging by the Unknown Dungeon, aka Cerulean Cave, to pick up items, like fossils and hopefully a Master Ball and berries. I got the shiny Rhyhorn. It actually spawned on top of me. I could not take any screenshots or anything because it popped up. Literally on top of my character model. And I ended up in an encounter with it. It was amazing. So, I don't know if I'll ever transfer them into Sword or Home, but these are the shinies in Let's Go Eevee that you didn't know I had. I could have sworn I had a few other things, like another Bellsprout or two. Could have sworn. But, yep. That is all, folks. I will see you. Hopefully I'll get that shiny Score Bunny. Yes, I know I'm dating this video. So as I say all the time, see ya! Yes, I do want to exit without saving. I haven't messed with anything.